berkualitas. Izin saya bacakan pantun biar semakin segar. Bantu cakepnya. Bulan Ramadan sudah di ujung hari.
Cakep,
Kuatkan niat, sucikan hati.
cakep,
Apa kabar Bapak Ibu Lembaga hari ini?
baik,
Sudah siap sepertinya menghadapi akreditasi.
luar biasa.
Baik, untuk agenda pada hari ini adalah melanjutkan pembahasan standar, yaitu standar 8 oleh konsultan kita, Mr. Rana. Kemudian dilanjutkan juga dengan review terkait SINAF, Sistem Informasi Nasional Akreditasi Fasiankes. Ya. Hal ini sebagai gambaran, sedikit gambaran mungkin nanti kepada konsultan kita, Mr. Rana, sehingga bisa lebih diarahkan ya, Bapak Ibu untuk mempersiapkan standar 5-nya seperti apa, seperti itu. Baik, tanpa berpanjang lebar lagi, untuk kesempatan yang pertama kita sapa dulu Mr. Rana. Halo, Mr. Rana. Have you already there?
Good morning. I'm fine. Thank you. Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes,
Very
please.
good, Mr. Rana. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Good morning, everyone.
Oke.
Morning.
Pagi. Ya, baik. Untuk moderator kita kali ini kami persilahkan kepada Ibu Ketua Tim Kerja Mutu Pelayanan Kesehatan Puskesmas, kepada Bu Rahmi kami silahkan.
Baik, selamat pagi. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Semangat Bapak Ibu.
Semangat.
Ini semua udah hadir di sini lembaganya. Mungkin nanti sambil menunggu yang belum hadir, kita mulai saja karena sudah jam 9.04, perjanjian kita jam 9 pagi kita memulai acara ini. Terima kasih sekali lagi Bapak Ibu yang sudah bisa hadir pada diskusi ini, baik yang hadir secara luring maupun daring. Thank you for Mr. Rana attending this discussion. Baik, sesuai dengan kesepakatan kita kemarin bahwa hari ini kita akan meneruskan bab 8. Jadi kita akan meneruskan ke bab 8, yaitu bab yang terakhir di dalam pedoman apa namanya ISKUA? Standard accreditation for ISKUA. Yes. Selanjutnya jika nanti itu sudah selesai bab 8, kita akan melanjutkan dengan acara diskusi dengan fokus SINAF, karena memang SINAF ini banyak dan digunakan ya hampir dalam semua proses dan penyelenggaraan survei akreditasi, terutama pada saat survei. Nanti kita akan diskusi dengan, nanti ada teman-teman dari sistem informasi dari PI yang akan menyampaikan SINAF. Pak Haider sudah hadir di sini, Pak Haider?
Halo, hadir. Maaf, gak usah hadir sana. Ada beberapa rapat, Bu. Ya.
Terima kasih Pak Haider sudah hadir. Nanti Pak Haider akan menyampaikan, memaparkan tentang SINAF. Dan kemudian nanti Mr. Rana akan melihat apa sih kira-kira perbedaan atau apa hal yang harus kita perbaiki untuk mendukung proses akreditasi teman-teman lembaga di ISKUA. Baik, karena waktunya sudah jam 9 lebih, kami persilahkan kepada Pak Rana untuk memulai sesi ini. Oke, Pak Rana, you can start the discussion.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. I can see the fresh faces. So welcome all again today for this session on ISKA accreditation standards for organizations. And so far, we have covered 7 standards, 1 to 7, on different aspects of an accreditation body, accreditation agency, or also called an external evaluation organization. And today we will be covering standard 8, which is the last standard, which is about award decisions for accreditation or certification. And as already Burhami mentioned that after that we'll walk through Synapse software and see how it does for you. So allow me to share my screen with you all on the standards. Okay, please anyone can confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes.
Thank you so much for confirming. Thank you. So standard 8 is about accreditation or certification awards. So it's about accreditation or certification because many organizations use the word accreditation, some organizations use the word certification. So accreditation and certification words are used interchangeably in ISQA. So in our case, we call ourselves as an accreditation agency, and therefore we are giving accreditation. And so for us, it is accreditation awards. The main statement of this standard is the processes for awarding and maintaining accreditation are objective and consistently implemented, which means we have to have different processes that how we decide that a Puskesmas or any healthcare facility will be getting accreditation. And then all these processes are implemented across all Puskesmas in a consistent manner without any difference. So this is the overall statement of this standard 8, and how we reach to the standard 8 compliance is through various criterion, as you all know. So criterion 8.1 is a core criteria, and it says the external evaluation organization, it means the accreditation agency, defines who is responsible for determining the outcome of the survey. Means you have to you have to say in your documents that who is responsible, who is making the decision about outcome when you conduct a survey or assessment of a Puskesmas and come out with the report, which is part of a standard 7, and based on the report, who actually makes the decision that yes, this is to be accredited or this is not to be accredited, or whatever your systems are. Then the criteria for awarding of accreditation. Then we also should know what is the basis, what is the criteria on which decisions for award are made. Whether it's a scoring criteria that the Puskesmas should score minimum this much to attain a specific accreditation. And as I had given to understand, you have different levels, like you have Uttama, Paripurna, or some 3-4 types of awards. So are you continuing with that award? And if that is the case, then how you decide that one Puskesmas is to be attaining in the Paripurna, or one is going for Uttama, or Madhyama, or whatever it is, basic, higher, or excellent, whatever levels you have. What is the criteria? What are the rules for deciding that they will be getting accreditation, and if they are getting accreditation, which level they will be getting accreditation? The third point is time frames within which the award decisions are made. Now, as we also discussed, I explained it that in earlier standard that you should have a timeline defined, that how much time you will take from receiving application to process it, and then how much time will take to conduct the survey. Similarly, you have to define how much time you will take to make the award decision. And now it is to you to define that you will take 2 days, 3 days, 7 days, whatever your process are. So these are A, B, C, which are required that you should define. Okay. Guidance also says that achievement on all compulsory standards. These can be the criteria. Like I understand in your case is the scoring system. If you score this much, you will get this, you will get this, or they will get this. So you have to define defined level of achievement, non-standard being rated below a defined level. So this is the rule for making the accreditation decisions. Now, criterion 8.2 is about the certificate awarded to the participating organization details the name of organization, the scope and effective date of accreditation, and the term for which it is valid. So these are the minimum thing which must be there in an accreditation certificate. So after you make a decision to grant accreditation to a Puskesmas, you will be giving a certificate. So that certificate can have many things. It can have anything, but must have name of the organization in case of you goes in name of Puskesmas, the scope, what for they are accredited. It is accredited as a complete whole organization, or it's accredited like it is given because there may be different program, like a program for hospital accreditation, clinic accreditation, dialysis, IVF, home care, emergency department, stroke. There may be different scope for accreditation. In your case, it's like complete Puskesmas. So you will say that Puskesmas ABC have been accredited for all its services. So that is the scope. And then effective date of accreditation and the term for which it is valid. It means the duration of the award, date of accreditation and date of validity, whether it is 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year. So that should come, both the dates, the date of award, accreditation, and the date of validity of that certificate. These are the minimum thing must be there in accreditation certificate. In addition to this, you can have the certificate number, you can have signatures, you can have the name of different thing, but these are the minimum thing you must have. Then what is the guidance? That depending on the external evaluation body, the scope may not always be necessary as the whole organization is being evaluated. So in your case, as I mentioned, it is a complete Puskesmas which is accredited. So you have to just mention the name of the Puskesmas and then date of accreditation and date of validity. You don't need to specify scope because scope is complete organization like a complete hospital. Then criterion 8.3, a documented appeals process is in place for when the outcome of the survey is in dispute. It is about appeal. So what is an appeal? You must have heard about the complaint. So there should be a complaint process. Now this is about the appeal process. What is an appeal? Appeal is a request made by your client against a decision you have made. Appeals are always against a decision. If you made a decision, like you will not accept the application, you have made a decision not to accept the application. The organization should be able to appeal. You have made a decision not to grant accreditation to the organization, Puskesmas, then they can make an appeal. So you should have a process of appeal which should be communicated to client organizations, surveyors, and other stakeholders. So you should have an appeal process which should be put on your website so that everybody get access to it, and your client organization must know it, that they have an opportunity for appeal in case they feel to do so. Your surveyors or assessors should know that they can file an appeal. The organization can file an appeal because if they know, they can, if they are asked by the Puskesmas, they can tell, or any other stakeholders if they are relevant. So this is basically the same rule. It has defined timeframes and responsibility. Now, appeal process, how to make an appeal, what is the timeline, like from the date of decision, a specific time, like within 15 days of decision, within 1 month of decision, within 2 months of decision, you have a right to appeal. If you don't follow the timeline, then you lose that right, then you cannot make an appeal. So you should clearly mention that what is the time frame and who is responsible for that. Who will be responsible for handling the appeal? Who will receive the appeal? Who will be discussing the appeal? Who will be making the decision on appeal? So this is about the responsibilities for listening to the appeal. And third is led by individuals independent of the original survey process. Now this is again same thing we have been discussing yesterday about impartiality. 1.7, 1.6, 1.7, 7.8, 7.11. Similarly, many other places, same thing comes here. It is about independency. It is about impartiality. That appeal process should be handled by those people who were not part of the survey process. Either they were surveyors or there may be the officer who is involved in the decision making. So whosoever was the part of that survey process, they should not be part of the appeal process. They should total different people they should be having to hear the appeals. So you can have the process which is documented, having all these point A, B, and C. Then criteria 8.4 is about external evaluation organization has processes for monitoring that award decisions are consistent with the criteria for awarding accreditation. So this is about having a process that someone in the organization should monitor that all the decisions which are being made, they are consistent. They are not different from different organization. They should follow the same rule for making decisions. So there should be a process for monitoring and like reviewing the reports, reviewing the award criteria, and any appeals coming up. It is to make sure that there is no bias, there is no difference of opinion, and ensuring that consistency is maintained. And there should be a process that action is take action if deviations are identified. So if during the monitoring process, if you come to know that there were certain deviations, there were certain things which were not followed, they should have followed. So there should be an action on them to improve. So guidances about decisions may be monitored as part of an internal audit process or by an external party. So in earlier standards, we talked about the auditing. In standard 6 and 7, we talk about, I think 6 is we talk about the auditing process, that there should be an audit process. It can be done by internal person or it can be done by an external party. It's entirely up to your decision. Usually it is done by internal people if you have sufficient resources. So during the audit, you should also check this process of award decision. Usually in audit, you should check everything from start to finish. And obviously this will become a part of it. So that is taken care of during your audit process. Criteria 8.5, which is a core criteria. The external evaluation organization monitors its clients' continued compliance with the standards and their actions for improvement. So now, how you as an accreditation agency ensures that your accredited clients follow the rules, continuously follow the standards for accreditation. So what is the mechanism? So you have to define that, and the guidance submission by the accredited organization of a plan of the specific actions and timeframes in which they will make any improvement recommended in this. It depends on the survey finding. The survey report will highlight what are the gaps, if there are any. Suppose if somebody gets Madhyama, it means there are gaps which need to be filled up to go to Uttapama or Paripurna, right? So what are those gaps, and when they will address these gaps, when they will take care of these gaps, what should be the timeline? So if that is agreed upon, so you should monitor that okay, they have said that they will do it within 3 months, within 6 months. Have they done it? Process for validating the implementation of this action. So what is the mechanism you have? Do you have any surveillance mechanism? Like one is the review of the action point, that you ask that these were the deficiencies, what is the action you have taken, what are the time you have taken, and then monitor their decision. Second thing can be a verification by going to the Puskesmas after a certain time, like surveillance, we call it surveillance. So if your accreditation is for 2 years, you can have a surveillance in 1 year. If you have a certificate for 3 years, you can have surveillance in 18 months. So you define what is the mechanism to make sure that your clients which you have accredited follow your standards on a continuous basis. That can be done either reviewing the reports, it can be done by on-site surveillance, it can be done by remote surveillance assessment. There should be something, or review of specific documentation, or system of periodic self-assessment, annual or mid-term reviews, or unannounced reviews. So you make your policy. How you will be monitoring your accredited Puskesmas regarding following rules and regulations for organization. That is how it is to be taken.
Mbak, suara translate-nya tidak jelas bisa nggak? Hah? Izin.
I hear some voice from Burami.
Sorry. Okay, I will remind the translator that her voice could be here from here. Is the masih bergema. Ya. Her voice is not clear from here, Mr. Rana, so I have. You can continue, Pak Rana.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Criterion 8.6, it is a core criteria. There are processes for following up on any concerns or issues raised about an accredited client. Now, this is about when you have accredited a client, if there are any concerns or issues raised by someone against the Puskesmas. It means if there is a complaint against a Puskesmas, what is the system? So you must have a process to address if somebody is, there may be a patient complaint against a Puskesmas, there may be a staff complaint against Puskesmas that this is an accredited Puskesmas, but they don't have this, or they have not taken of the patient, whatever. It can be any concern. It's like a complaint from any user or anyone, any stakeholder to you as an accreditation agency. For that, you should have a process, and that process should include client organizations against whom a concern issue is raised being required to make available when requested in records or complaints of subsequent action. It means there should be a process that in case.
Sorry. There's ada dua translator di sini. Tapi yang kedua tadi still nggak jelas, Bu. Yang ya. Makasih. Please, Pak Rana, you can continue. Sorry for.
Thank you so much. So in this criterion 8.6, you as an accreditation agency have a process to address any concern or issues or a complaint from its client. So client organizations against to whom a concern is raised being required to make. So if there is a complaint against a Puskesmas, if you get, then you can ask Puskesmas to investigate. Usually, as per the standard which you use for accreditation, standard itself require a complaint handling procedure. So you can ask if you got a complaint, what you have done. A defined system for following up with client organization when a sentinel event occurs. In case there is a sentinel event happened in an Puskesmas, then there may be a system, you may have a system asking some information from Puskesmas. Sentinel event means an event which has resulted into loss of life or permanent loss of a function of a limb. Either it's an amount to death or a loss of function of a body part, permanent loss of function. So that is called sentinel event. So if this may happen, then Puskesmas can be asked to provide information to the accreditation agency. A resurvey if required after the issue has been well evaluated. So depending on the investigation of that concern or complaint, you may require that you need to go and check again or whatever. It's entirely up to your process. Criterion 8.7, a external evaluation organization protects the integrity of its accreditation awards by having a documented rules for the use and display of accreditation award logo. Now, it is very important that only accredited उसके mass say that they are accredited by this agency. There should not be the false claim. So how you will check that? For that, you as an agency have a process in place which makes sure that there are rules followed by the Puskesmas for use of the logo. So you have a Puskesmas accreditation certificate. You use a logo also. You give some like accreditation mark or accreditation logo which they can use on their certificates or their reports or their brochures, their boards. So that you should allow, but you should have rules for that. How they can use it, when they can use it, when they should not use it. There should be the complete rules for use and display of accreditation award logo. A process for taking suitable action to deal with incorrect claims about accreditation status. If a Puskesmas which is not yet accredited, is maybe just an applicant, it is under process of accreditation, they should not claim that they are already accredited. If they are using an accreditation status or using your accreditation mark or logo, it means they are not following rule. For that, you should have a rule to take action. This should be very clearly known to all the Puskesmas which are coming to you. This should be available in public domain on your website, that in case somebody is reporting a wrong information, they can complain. So this is for a rule for display of accreditation to status, process for dealing with incorrect. So you should have a process in case you found that some Puskesmas is not correctly displaying or is claiming accreditation. This is actually to prevent misuse of accreditation logo or accreditation mark, okay, or accreditation status. For example, we have observed, I have observed that some organizations are under process. They have applied for accreditation. So they will write big logo. This is like ABC accredited and logo. They will use the logo. They will not write anything. They will use the logo. And then they will put a star, a small star, and then say under process. So that star under process, nobody will see. It's a very small letters, but big logo is seen. So that is a misleading claim of accreditation. That should not happen, you know. Criterion 8.8, the public has access to information about which organizations have been accredited, including information about when an award has been suspended or withdrawn. Now, yesterday in chapter 6, standard 6, we talked about that you should have a client register where you should list out all your clients. Here it says public should have access to organizations which have been accredited. So how you provide access to public? There are ways. Either you can put the list of accredited Puskesmas on your website, so anybody can access it. That is the best way. If you have a website, put it a list of accredited Puskesmas on your website. Also, if you have suspended a Puskesmas, or if you have withdrawn accreditation from a Puskesmas, that should also be available. That suspended Puskesmas or accreditation withdrawn Puskesmas, you should have a complete list that these are accredited, these are suspended, these are withdrawn. If there are any suspended or withdrawn, if no, then a list of accredited. So this will help anyone to know which Puskesmas is accredited. If they want to go for treatment, they can select which Puskesmas they can go. So this is have an access, you know, or you have a list with you if you don't have a website. If in case you don't have a website, then how you will provide access. So you have a list in your computer, or you have published a directory of your accredited pushkas mass. So anybody wants, you can say, this is the list, you can look at it if they come. So this is about access, okay? That anybody want, public want, they get access to it. Now, criterion 8.9 is about record of each survey is managed, stored, and disposed in accordance with any relevant regional or national legislation. As I told you yesterday, any rule, any law, any regulation in Indonesia is applicable for all purposes. Here it's about the record of each survey. So as we say, you maintain all the records for your all clients, starting from they apply, then you conduct the survey report, decision making, certificate, and so on. So this record is managed properly, stored properly, and disposed. Disposed means depending on the retention time policy. You have to define your retention time of records. The which record you will keep for how long, for how much time you will be keeping a survey report, how long you will be keeping the application form, how long you will be keeping the accreditation certificate, how long you will be keeping the minutes of meeting, how long you will be keeping HR records, whatever records. Here specifically, we are talking about the records of the survey, that whatever survey you have done, you have the survey report. So how long you will keep? 1 month, 2 month, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year? You define as per your rule or a government rule. If there is no government rule, you can define your own rule depending on your situations. Usually, it is advisable that you should keep at least for one full accreditation cycle. Records may be kept for at least one full accreditation cycle. This is also reflected in information management chapter standard and criterion 3.2. 3.2 is about information management, where we talk about different types of records keeping. This is also addressed. So usually one full accreditation cycle, if your accreditation cycle of 2 years, you should keep at least 2 years of records. If your accreditation cycle is 3 year or 4 year, you should keep at least for, you define. The purpose of keeping a full accreditation cycle is that you can have access to the information, what has gone in the last 1 year or last 2 years, if you have to go back to check any information. Criterion 8.10, accreditation processes and outcomes are evaluated and the results used to make improvements. So accreditation process, you have different processes. In this standard 8, we talk about different process. Process for award, process for scoring, process for decision making, process for appeal, process for review the concern, review the issues, and so on. So how you monitor them? So these processes, accreditation processes, and their outcomes, that whatever has come out, are evaluated, and the results of that evaluation are used for improvement. So this can be done through participating organization satisfaction. So you can have a client satisfaction survey, a feedback survey from the client on your processes, outcomes from appeal process. So if you have any appeal, what decision is made? So if you get an appeal and you found that the decision you made was right, it means your process are robust, your process are good. Audits of documentation. So the report of internal audit, when you conduct the internal audits, so the report of internal audit also bring reports about what is good, what is bad. So that also give you opportunity for improvement, and also analysis of the outcomes of accreditation surveys. So when you conduct surveys, so you make the decision whether you are accredited or you are not accredited. So you analyze those outcomes, and you can use those outcomes for making improvement. So these are some of the ways you must have in place for the evaluation of your entire accreditation processes. So that's about
Karena sudah selesai sesi standar 8-10, mungkin ada pertanyaan Mbak ada pertanyaan Bapak Ibu sekalian? Silakan. Bu Ardanila, habis itu Bu Aci.
Baik,
Silakan Bu.
baik, terima kasih.
Sama tuh kayak suaranya.
Baik, terima kasih. Pada poin 8.10 ini tadi dijelaskan oleh Pak Rana mengatakan bahwa
Can you hear
akreditasi
her
itu
voice, Pak Rana? Halo.
akan dilakukan evaluasi. Akan dilakukan
hear the
evaluasi. Nah, pertanyaannya adalah kapan dilakukan evaluasi terhadap penilaian akreditasi tersebut? Bagaimana caranya? Apakah itu akan melakukan semua sistem dievaluasi atau pada poin-poin tertentu saja?
Okay, thank you. You should define the
Okay, there's a question.
periodicity when you will be
Silakan,
evaluating.
Pak Rana.
Yes, please, Buremi. Yes.
Baik, saya pikir tadi adalah lembaga itu mempunyai satu sistem untuk melakukan dari masing-masing proses akreditasi tersebut.
I cannot hear if somebody is speaking.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not sure. They
Can
should
you
have
get
a
it, Pak
process
Rana,
for
about the
a
question
regular
from
evaluation of the outcome. Usually it is once in a year.
Is it not clear?
No, I've already answered that. The question was how they should be.
Hello, yes, 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 yes. Hello.
I see the hands up
Ada
of
pertanyaan lagi?
Ibu Eka
Bu
and
Aci?
Yes,
There were a question from
Bu Rahmi saya. Bu Rahmi, bisa kedengeran?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saya hanya mau menanyakan mengenai tadi ketidaksesuaian antara, mudah-mudahan pertanyaan saya cocok dengan materi ini ya. Hanya mau menanyakan apabila hasilnya tidak cocok karena misalnya dari surveyor memberikan rekomendasi dia, kemudian dari verifikator memberikan hasil sama, sehingga hasil yang muncul di sertifikat adalah atau sebaliknya. Misalnya saya hanya mau menanyakan bila hasil yang direkomendasikan oleh surveyor dengan hasil yang direkomendasikan oleh verifikator tidak sama sehingga jadi masalah di berbeda-beda hasilnya. Dan bagaimana pengendaliannya? Terima kasih.
Kan Pak Rana?
Can you repeat the question? I'm not able to hear it.
Hello.
Can you repeat the question, please? I was not, voice was not clear. Hello.
Okay, you can answer the question from Bu Aci.
I'm sorry, I cannot answer because I could not hear the question clearly. So can the translator please repeat the question for me? Thank you.
Tes. Tes, tes. Tes.
Okay, Pak
Okay.
Rana, there's a question from Bu Aci. Terkait dengan apa perbedaan antara hasil yang diberikan oleh surveyor dan hasil yang diberikan oleh verifikator. Bagaimana yang seharusnya Pak Rana? Sebaiknya bukan yang seharusnya, menurut Pak Rana. From your opinion.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So this depends on your own procedure. What is your decision-making procedure? Like when there are surveyors, goes to Puskesmas, conduct the surveys and gives a report. Now this report is sent to the reviewers or validators, what you call it, validators or reviewers, and then they make the decision. So surveyors conduct the survey and give the report. So they are not decision makers. Now this report goes to the validator. Validator makes the recommendation. Okay, so they can be the decision maker. And then this recommendation from them goes to the director or CEO, and director or CEO can approve the decision making. So you can define that who makes the decision. In my opinion, basically a decision is made by the validators or the reviewers who reviews the report and gives the recommendation, which is approved by the CEO or the director of the agency. So you have to define who makes the decision. You can say the CEO makes the decision. It means the validator gives the recommendation and then CEO says, I approved. It means now I am making the decision that is to be accredited. Or you want to give this power to the validator. It's up to you how you write your process.
Boleh tambah pertanyaan ya, Ibu Translator. Untuk Pak Rana, tadi sudah dikatakan bahwa evaluasi itu sebaiknya 1 tahun sekali. Nah, saya ingin tahu kalau yang ideal itu standarnya siapa sih sebagai evaluator ini di lembaga ya? Apakah harus ada khusus tenaga, artinya orang yang dia tidak melakukan survei, tidak menjadi verifikator, harus ada khusus atau seperti apa ya supaya netralitasnya independen? Makasih.
Oh, thank you for your question, but I want to understand in what context you are asking this question. The evaluation of what? The evaluation of the process is criterion 8.10 or what? Which criterion you are referring to, please?
Iya betul, proses evaluasinya.
So the accreditation process and outcomes are evaluated. So the accreditation process is the complete process, starting from accepting an application for accreditation and reviewing the application, and then fixing the survey, conducting the survey, making the survey report, then decision making, and so on. So this is the whole accreditation process, right? So this accreditation process and the outcomes. What are the outcomes of each? Like application received, it is reviewed and accepted. That is the outcome. A survey done, decision made, not accredited. This is the outcome. So process, the continuous entire process and the outcomes of that process are evaluated. As I mentioned, You define your frequency, usually once in a year, and anybody can be involved in that. That's not a problem. But usually it is done by somebody who is designated. Like I said, the best part is conducting the audits. So the internal auditors, we call it internal auditors, who are trained in the internal auditing process, that how to conduct the internal audit, what to look at, how to write a report. So that's a very specific thing for internal auditing. So you can define who are your internal auditors from the organ. You can also request from somebody outside, an external agency or external person who is an expert of conducting the audit. So you can use those people for, because this is your entirely your internal process. This 8.10 is about your own internal process. So anybody can be involved in that, but that should be done in a very impartial manner. Like, okay.
Bu Rahmi, bisa Bu Rahmi?
Bagaimana Bu Tari?
Ya, sementara ini masih diskusi sebentar, tapi saya menarik, memang benar ya, kita punya ini antara audit dengan evaluasi ya. Ya, ini apakah sama ya? Evaluasi dan audit ya. Itu bagus ada audit eksternal ya. Apakah ya dimaksud audit eksternal ini harus expert, orang yang ahli, atau memang dari katakan kita lembaga ya independen yang audit ini
Yes.
adalah Kementerian Kesehatan itu.
No, you can use your own internal person or external person, any expert, whatever it is. Evaluation is same as auditing. See, audit is a process for evaluation of something. Audit is a process to check whether things are done in a manner they should be done as you defined. So audit is one of the tool for this evaluation. So there are many ways giving, like participating that feedback, satisfaction survey. You send out, you design a survey, surveyor, what you call it, feedback form, or satisfaction survey form, send it to all your accredited clients, take their feedback, and then use that feedback for improvement. Then if you have received any appeal, so as I mentioned, if you have not received any appeal, it means your decision-making process is robust, very nice, very good, very strong. But if you have appeal, an appeal has also resulted into the same decision as made by earlier team. It means appeals resulted into no change in the decision. It means it also says that your process are robust, your process are strong. But in case you have appeal and the decision of appeal is totally opposite of what the decision was. The earlier decision was not to grant accreditation. Now, when appeal was there, it was reviewed, investigated, and it was found it was a wrong decision. Now you say the case is accredited. It will raise question. Oh, what's gone wrong? Now, what was the problem that we made the decision? So if you have so many appeals coming and decisions are changing, it means your process is a problem. That is the purpose. Same thing, audit. Audit is again one tool of checking the compliance to the requirement. So as I mentioned, audit is basically reviewing the records, reviewing the documentation, okay, looking into the past, not future, past. That, okay, this was done like this. You said accreditation process mentioned that within 7 days you will review the application, but most of the cases it is gone beyond 10 days. It means you are not following your process. You said your decision making is only can be done in 10 days, but it is gone more than 15 days. It means something is wrong. So this is what the evaluation is. So how you evaluate? You evaluate taking the feedback or satisfaction survey. You evaluate using your appeal process results. You evaluate using audit mechanism, internal audit process. And then whatever that you come out of these three processes, based on that you make improvement outcomes. That yes, this is what we have done. We found during audit that process was not followed. Now, what is to be done? Action. Instruction to all the officers, please follow all the processes as defined. And then again, in the next cycle of audit, then you will see what happened, whether it is improved or it is same. So this is what the evaluation process using different tool, feedback mechanism, appeal process, internal auditing, and so on and so forth. Thank you. I hope it clarifies now.
Bagaimana Ibu?
Bu Rahmi, boleh Bu Rahmi?
Baik, ada lagi Bapak Ibu yang akan disampaikan, yang dihadir daring, silakan.
Saya Bu Rahmi.
Monggo silakan Bu.
Baik, terima kasih. Saya akan menanyakan tentang standar 8.5. Ya, di sini kondisi saat ini di akreditasi Fasiankes ini sesuai dengan Permenkes nomor 34 tahun 2022 menyebutkan bahwa kegiatan evaluasi pasca akreditasi itu dilakukan dengan membuat PPS ya, atau Strategic Improvement Plan. Kita harus membuat berdasarkan rekomendasi perbaikan hasil survei dengan memanfaatkan teknologi informasi dan komunikasi. Dalam penyusunan PPS ini melalui sistem informasi yang bulan lalu itu sudah diedarkan, ada aturan baru dari Kementerian Kesehatan dari Bu Rahmi ya Bu Rahmi. Nah, di sini kami melihat in the notification letter for post accreditation evaluation, the new directive require healthcare facilities to prepare a strategic improvement plan or PPS with no organizational role, but the role falling under the responsibility of the provincial and district health office. Now, what do you think about this, and what can we prepare for the document for the standard 8.5?
Silakan Pak Rana.
No, the voice is very, very low.
Voice,
very low.
I don't know what's wrong. It's about the internet or connection, but here is very clear. Bu Eka, bisa diulang lagi Bu Eka? Mungkin mic-nya didekatkan.
Ya.
Oke, makasih.
Diulang lagi, itu terkait dengan Permenkes 34. 34 itu kan tahun 2022, itu dikatakan, you hear me, Dr. Rana?
Yes, please. Clear.
Ya, itu dikatakan bahwa evaluasi pasca akreditasi itu dilakukan dengan menyusun PPS, or we call the Strategic Improvement Plan. Nah, itu sudah saat ini sudah ada aplikasi yang ada di DFO. Namun di dalam edaran yang baru dikeluarkan oleh Kementerian Kesehatan ada notification letter for post accreditation evaluation ini, itu role of our organization itu tidak kelihatan, no role. Tetapi role ini diberikan kepada Dinas Kesehatan Provinsi dan Dinas Kesehatan Kabupaten Kota. Nah, kalau seperti ini, apakah mungkin pendapat Dr. Rana seperti apa dengan situasi seperti ini? Apa yang kami harus lakukan?
Very tricky question. I'm just trying to understand it before I respond. You mentioned that the currently this process is controlled by MOH, right?
Yes. Not monitoring the report.
So,
the result of the improvement.
The results of the survey.
Yes.
No. So how?
improvement plan.
That is fine. That is, see, what is important is that you as an accreditation agency should demonstrate compliance to SCOI standards, right? Now, how you demonstrate depends on you. In your case, if you say that this is the process which we have for this purpose, and this is done by, say, the district health office, but you have the information, you have to write everything. You have to write your process, how you are doing it. In your case, because it is mandated by the government, and therefore government has a system in place to do it. Maybe in future, when things go, and then you learn from experiences, government also learn from your experiences, there may be change in the system. Then they may be saying that, okay, you do everything now, we will just come and see, or we get a report through some system to make sure that you are doing correctly. So you define as a part of your process that you, as I mentioned, you define your complete accreditation process. That's the first task you should have, starting from receiving an application for accreditation from a Puskesmas to the last point, the decision making, the issuing the accreditation certificate. The entire journey of this, the entire accreditation process, you should define how you do it, right? And in the middle of this process, at different stages, who is involved? You involved as a Puskesmas, or MOH is involved through SINAP, or a district health authority is involved for this. So you write down entire process for your own accreditation, and then write who does what, and then see whether you can comply with the requirement of SQI standard, or if there is a change required in what you are already doing.
Baik, Bu, saya rasa mungkin agak
Mungkin pertanyaannya ke Bu Rahmi. Jadi ini peran kami itu, keterlibatan kami seperti apa ya, Bu Rahmi?
Terkait
address to Dr. Rahmi. Bu Rahmi.
Pak Rana, I need your opinion because we have a regulation that talks Ministry of Health have a regulation which evaluate all the process of accredited by and PPS. It didn't done by a jet, but done by government, by Ministry of Health. You said that there's before that agency who will evaluate the process. Eka said that the evaluate done by Ministry. How about your opinion about the evaluation of health? Yeah. How about your opinion, Pak Rana?
I cannot hear. The sound is very, 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 very low.
Mungkin lebih, can you clear nggak suaranya ke Pak Rana? Jadi mudah-mudahan ini clear ya. Jadi tadi Bu Eka menyampaikan di dalam regulasi kita, Permenkes 34 dinyatakan bahwa yang tidak dinyatakan secara jelas bahwa jelas, tapi bahwa salah satu tugas dari Kementerian Kesehatan itu adalah melakukan evaluasi terhadap lembaga. Jadi kami membuat aturan seperti itu dan dituangkan melalui proses BIMWAS. Jadi kami melakukan sampling terhadap beberapa proses akreditasi yang dilakukan oleh lembaga. Kemudian kami juga melakukan pemantauan terhadap apa yang kita kenal dengan PPS. Sorry ibu-ibu. Jadi kita melakukan pemantauan terhadap PPS. What is called PPS? PPS adalah tindak lanjut terhadap rekomendasi yang diberikan oleh seorang surveyor pada saat survei itu dilaksanakan. PPS itu dan PPS itu adalah tindak lanjutnya dan itu harus dilakukan oleh Pasyankes. Nah, siapa yang melakukan rekomendasi lagi. Siapa yang mengawasi? Itu adalah Dinas Kesehatan Provinsi, Dinas Kesehatan Kabupaten dan tentu saja Kementerian Kesehatan. Nah, Pak Rana menyatakan bahwa sebelumnya harus salah satu agensi yang akan melakukan evaluasi terhadap proses akreditasi. Nah, kalau kita lihat tadi yang sudah Bu Eka sampaikan itu yang melakukan selama ini masih government. Nah, apakah itu dimungkinkan kalau kita lihat dari sisi ISKUA gitu, Pak Rana? Can you hear my voice?
Thank you very much, Ibu. I'm sorry, I did not say that the evaluation to be done by an independent agency or someone. No, it's not. I said this is a requirement 8.10 that the accreditation process and outcomes are evaluated. This is the entirely internal process for accreditation agency.
Yes.
They have to define how they do it. They do it themselves. They do it with the help of an external company or agency. They do it through the government. They do it through whatever thing. It's not saying how you are doing, how you are going to do it. It's saying you should do it. Okay. I never said that it should be done by an agency separate outside your accreditation agency. No, it is just simple process to make sure whatever you are doing correctly. That is the meaning here. And I'm giving you examples. When you defined that you will process the application in 7 days, but when your audit is done, when you conduct your own audit and you see most of the Puskesmas applications reviewed in more than 10 days, it means you are not following your process of completing the review within 7 days. Similarly, when you say your accreditation decision is done by the validator, but you are not following, you're just making decision based on the survey report. It means you're not following your process. So audit will bring out these points which you will act upon for improvement. That is the purpose of this criterion 8.10, that to make sure that the accreditation agencies works in a manner they should work as per their defined processes. You define you will never process an application, don't process it, it's fine. You say surveyor makes the decision for accreditation, that is fine. But who will check whether the surveyor is making a decision or not? That is what the purpose of this criterion 8.10 is. A simple evaluation. You get the feedback from your client. Are you happy with our accreditation process? They say, no, we are not happy. Why you are not happy? Because you are taking too long. You said in your process that the entire accreditation process will be completed in 2 months, but it is taking more than 4 months. We are not happy. That's the feedback. So you have to look at why it is taking more than 2 months. You get an appeal, right? You don't make a decision on appeal and then they come back, they sorry, you are not able to work because you are not listening to our process of appeal. That is the problem. So this is what the meaning of a criterion 8.10 is, to look into your own system. Look into your own systems, your processes, your procedures, your policies, to see if everything is okay or everything is not okay. That is the meaning. I hope I am able to clarify. If not, you can ask again. Thank you.
Abu Rahmi.
Oh, jadi Pak Rana, saya mau menegaskan lagi. Artinya proses evaluasi ini tidak hanya dilakukan terhadap nilai yang sudah terbit, tapi juga seluruh proses akreditasi yang sudah berjalan ya Pak Rana. Is right? Bu Rami, saya bisa bertanya?
Yes, partly yes, partly no. For example, see,
Pak Rana, may I ask?
please.
Oke, mungkin
Oke.
ada misunderstanding ya, bahwa di kriteria 8.10 itu bertujuan untuk mengevaluasi atau mengaudit internal lembaga, bukan mengaudit hasil di puskesmasnya dengan perubahan-perubahannya, tetapi ini apakah lembaga melakukan survei sesuai dengan apa yang telah ditentukan. Jadi ini sebetulnya sebagai audit internal terhadap lembaga itu sendiri, begitu?
Kita 8.5
Yes, yes, absolutely. This is the purpose of agency for accreditation agency, not for the Puskesmas.
Ya. Jadi audit internal terhadap lembaga itu sendiri.
Internal audit of accreditation agency, not the
Yeah.
Puskesmas. As an accreditation agency, you audit your own activity to see whether you are following your own rules and regulations or not. It's not about the Puskesmas activity or Puskesmas results. You have to see if you have make a decision of accreditation for Puskesmas, whether that was right or wrong. It's not related to Puskesmas directly. No audit of Puskesmas. It is your own audit as an accreditation agency to see your own processes.
Okay, thank you.
Bu Rahmi, pertanyaannya tadi untuk kriteria 8.5 ya, bukan 8.10, Bu. Bu.
Baik,
Bu Rahmi,
ada lagi Bapak Ibu?
8.5 bukan 8.10 pertanyaannya tadi. Mungkin tadi ini karena ditayangkan 8.10,
Ya.
tapi yang kita bahas.
Bu Rahmi, saya ingin bertanya satu lagi.
Silakan Bu,
Ya.
silakan.
Saya Dr. Tri dari KMKP. Bu Rahmi, sebagai sertifikat kita tahu bahwa cukup banyak ya, di atas 75% puskesmas yang mendapatkan paripurna. Saya bertanya dengan Pak Rana, termasuk dengan Bu Rahmi, apakah di dalam sertifikat itu boleh nggak sih dituliskan juga hasil dari tiap bab? Misalnya gini, paripurna itu kan di atas 80 semua, gitu ya. Tapi di puskesmas A, bab 1 nilainya 81. Di puskesmas B nilainya 85. Apakah itu diperkenankan? Begitu, sehingga puskesmas tahu bahwa paripurna mereka itu sebatas mana. Karena seringkali kami survei dok, dia yang cuma seperti itu aja bisa paripurna, kok kami gitu ya. Jadi ada pertanyaan-pertanyaan seperti itu. Apakah boleh menuliskan nilai dari nilai tiap bab di sertifikat gitu? Karena sertifikat kan yang mengeluarkan Kemenkes. Terima kasih.
Halo, silakan Pak Rana.
You have to define your process. I'm sorry, I'm saying same thing again and again. You have to define what you are doing, how you are doing, and who does what. What is done by the Puskesmas, what is done by the accreditation agency, what is done by district authority, what is done by
Begini,
MOH.
Ibu, tadi Pak Rana sudah menyatakan bahwa kita itu kami dari saya dan Ibu dan lembaga juga, bahwa kita sudah harus mendefinisikan apa yang akan kita lakukan. Nah, Kementerian Kesehatan itu sudah tertuang Bu di dalam survei ya. Itu juga apa namanya, DFO dan
Because certificate is issued by MOH, so you define because this is mandated by the government MOH.
Ya,
and
kita sudah
therefore,
menentukan. Jadi ketentuannya bahwa di dalam sertifikat itu hanya termuat hasil akhir, jadi tanpa mencantumkan nilai, karena kita sudah menyatakan bahwa itu hal yang tidak perlu disampaikan atau rahasia gitu.
yeah, you don't need to score or state the score.
Yeah,
It's not necessary.
Yes,
You have to just tell the status. You are accredited under the category of Paripurna. That's all. You need not to tell the score. Score is the basis to make the decision to get Paripurna or Uttama. You don't need to mention the score. If you want to mention, fine, but it's not necessary. What is necessary in a certificate is the name of the Puskesmas, and the date of accreditation and the validity of the accreditation. These are the three things required to be in the certificate. In addition to that, you can add anything. You want to add that this Rana Puskesmas has been accredited under the category of Paripurna. That's all. From 2nd April 24, valid until 1st April 26 or 27 or 28. And it is signed by the minister or the health secretary or the director of quality or the Puskesmas or both. You have your own system that this is what we do because we issue certificate or MOH, you define. Both can sign certificate also. It's entirely your thing, but you have to clearly tell the surveyors, ISCO surveyors, that because we are bound to follow the rules of MOH, and therefore the certificate is issued by like this, but we make sure that this has the minimum content as per ISCO accreditation requirement, and also how this certificate is going to be used, how the accreditation logo is going to be used. We have all the rules in place and we check our Puskesmas accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Baik, thank you Pak Rana. Bu Eka, silakan Bu Eka. Bu Eka tadi
Yang tadi pembahasan PPS itu kan ada di kriteria 8.5 bukan di 8.
Oke, baik.
Itu yang saya mau mungkin ini dari Kemenkes Bu bisa mempertimbangkan ini. Sejujurnya kan dinas itu kan nggak ngerti dengan standar ya, tidak memahami standar seperti hal yang ada pada surveyor di lembaga. Nah, jadi apakah memang kalau itu hanya dilakukan oleh dinas kesehatan saja, evaluasi pasca akreditasinya itu sudah mencukupi. Nah, ini saja sih sebetulnya yang ingin saya.
Baik Bu, tadi Bu, jadi Bu Eka yang memberi masukan apakah tidak sebaiknya yang memantau PPS itu termasuk juga
lembaga, termasuk lembaga.
Rumah sakit ya.
Iya, seperti di rumah sakit kan seperti itu Bu, menjadi kewajiban lembaga.
Baik Bu, nanti coba kami diskusikan lagi. Nah, kenapa kami menunjuk Dinas Kesehatan sebagai yang memantau itu, yang memantau apakah PPS itu sudah dilaksanakan, karena mereka-mereka lah yang bertanggung jawab terhadap terhadap puskesmas dan karena ada di wilayahnya. Nah, kami juga sampai sekarang ini berusaha memberdayakan, artinya membuat agar teman-teman di Dinas Kesehatan Provinsi ini mempunyai kompetensi yang cukup untuk membantu teman-teman puskesmas yang ada di wilayahnya. Nanti terkait usulan Bu Eka, coba nanti kami diskusikan lagi. Terima kasih Bu.
Masuk klinik ya Bu, karena klinik itu nggak sampai jangkauan tangan Dinkes itu kadang-kadang nggak sampai ke klinik loh.
Nanti coba kami diskusikan lagi.
Ya. Oke, terima kasih.
Saya Bu Rahmi.
Budin, silakan Budin.
Baik Bu Rahmi, Pak Rana. Saya ingin bertanya tentang 8.7. Tadi dikatakan bahwa jangan sampai ada proses akreditasi yang tertinggal. Nah, dalam proses tadi itu kami yang pertama adalah dibatasi oleh waktu. Satu waktu, kemudian terkadang ada proses yang lupa atau tertinggal ditanyakan oleh surveyor, kemudian masuk ke verifikator. Dan verifikatornya ini blind method. Kita tidak tahu itu puskesmas mana yang dilakukan survei oleh seorang surveyor, sehingga kita nggak bisa cross-check kembali ke puskesmas. Pertanyaan saya ini ada dua. Bagaimana menurut Mr. Rana proses seperti itu? Padahal dikatakan tadi jangan sampai ada proses akreditasi yang tertinggal. Yang kedua mungkin untuk Bu Rahmi, sebaiknya verifikator jangan blind method, sehingga seorang verifikator bisa bertanya kepada surveyornya apa yang terjadi. Apakah tadi pada saat survei dia penggaliannya bertanya dan lain sebagainya kurang fokus, sehingga terkesan masuk di dalam hasil akreditasi yang ditulis di SINAF itu kurang sesuai. Itu saja dari saya. Terima kasih.
Baik. Pak Rana,
Yes, please.
Yes.
See, I'm sorry, but I'm saying again, we are discussing things in pieces actually. It may not help. What I suggest, please write down your process flow, entire process flow. Okay, your entire accreditation process, write down in a flow chart that you start from here, here, here. These are the steps, and each step, who is involved? MOH, district authority, uske mass, or agency. Okay, each step you define, and then we will see what is okay and what is not okay. Like you're asked the question whether the validators can ask question, but my question is, who appoints the validator? Right? If MOH appoints the validator, do as an agency have a control on validator? How I will check the validator when they follow my agency's rule, which I've defined as per ISCO accreditation? I don't know. I can't leave a decision-making process on something which I am not aware of. So what I'm trying to say, the entire process should be controlled. I must know as an agency that who is doing what, right? Whether that is qualifying to the requirement of ISCOA accreditation. If that is okay, then it's fine. If not, then we have to think of that how we can make changes in things. We cannot leave a process outside my agency, because as an agency, as an accreditation agency, I am responsible for giving accreditation. Client has applied to me. I am responsible for that. It may be different that as per the government regulation, there are certain things which I need to follow what government says, but whatever government says, that should comply with the requirement of ISCO standard. If that does not comply with the ISCO standard, you as agency has to request MOH to modify the process. I hope I'm
Okay, thank
clarifying.
you.
Ya, mungkin ke Bu Rahmi, Bu Rahmi. Kalau melihat tadi pada kriteria 8.7, itu saran kami adalah bahwa verifikator jangan dikunci blind method, Bu. Sehingga mereka bisa ngetar sangat berbeda. Fakta tadi verifikator tidak terkunci, maka verifikator tadi bisa bertanya kepada survei. Ya, sehingga ini maksud ini, sehingga tidak ada gap yang tidak, sehingga kriteria 8.7 ini bisa kita jalankan. Itu Bu Rahmi, terima kasih.
Saya mau tanya, mau klarifikasi saja. Maksudnya terkunci ini maksudnya gimana?
Okay, thank you. But
Understand.
I'm sorry. There are two things. What Burhami mentioned is that the validator or verificator, whosoever, whatever term you use, must have a right to ask questions from the surveyors. Okay, if they, when they review the survey report and they are not clear of about something, they must ask questions from the surveyors or the officers concerned. If they can't ask the question, that is what is the purpose of having them? What is the purpose of verifying? Otherwise, they will make a decision based on the information available to them. That's all. But what we follow in QAI as a process, we have a surveyor or assessor, we call assessor. They go and conduct assessment, they prepare a report, send it to us in the secretariat. And my officer is complete thing there or not. Then if there are any gap, then we ask the hospital or clinic to submit all those corrective actions and everything together. Once that is done, now this goes to the accreditation committee. There are 4, 5, 6 members in the committee. They review the report. Okay. And then they may have questions. They may have question, oh no, this corrective action submitted by the hospital or clinic is not correct. we need more information. Can we ask more information from Puskesmas? So we can even ask the information from Puskesmas if they are not happy. As per our process, we can ask question from the surveyors that what do you mean by this? What basis you have accepted this corrective action? So they have so they can give recommendation that please get the information this, and bring it back to us, or is simply a document, then you make your own decision. So that's the criteria for reviewing the reports and making the decision. But that is not related to criterion 8.7. That is what I want to say here. 8.7 is different. The verificator or validator's point is different. That is not related to criterion 8.7. 8.7 is about how an accreditation agency protects its own integrity. If there are 10 accreditation agencies exist in, say, in Indonesia, and one agency is doing everything correct, but the rest are not doing, how, and people blame, oh, this is not a good agency, this. So, but you know you are a good agency. But so how you will prove, how you will continue to protect your integrity that you are good until unless you have a good system? If somebody comes, not, you are not a good accreditation agency, and I ask why? Why? Because this is the Puskesmas applied to you, they are not yet accredited, they are still saying they are accredited. And this is the Puskesmas which you have said not accredited, but they are still saying they are accredited. And that's why I have a doubt on your integrity. So this 8.7 is about that, how you ensure that you protect your own integrity, that nobody can misuse your credentials. Nobody can misuse your accreditation status. Nobody should be able to misuse the accreditation logo which you have provided to your accredited Puskesmas. That is about 8.7. The verification, validator, that's different thing. That's not
Yang
related
akan
to 8.7.
Bu Din mau klarifikasi,
Ya, Bu.
silakan Bu.
Ya, gimana Bu Rahmi? Jadi tadi gini, yang saya maksud gini Bu, di dalam sistem SINAF itu setelah survei mengisi dan keluar hasil, kemudian diambil oleh vendor. Nah, di dalam SINAF itu hanya tertera nama puskesmas saja, nggak ada namanya, atau klinik dan tanggal. Sehingga verifikator tidak bisa mendetek puskesmas mana, kemudian siapa surveyornya. Padahal isinya itu kadang-kadang nggak pas. Yang dipotret itu nggak pas, yang ditulis juga tidak pas. Sehingga si verifikator tadi terpaksa harus bertanya kepada admin atau kepada ketua lembaga untuk ngecek ini sebetulnya vaskes mana, kemudian surveyornya TKSD-nya siapa atau TKPP-nya siapa. Nah, sistem itu Bu, mohon saran kalau bisa dengan kriteria yang 8 tadi ya, standar 8, bisa nggak itu dibuka sehingga verifikator bisa bertanya kepada surveyor atau bertanya kepada puskesmasnya. Itu saja pertanyaan saya. Terima kasih Bu Rahmi.
Baik, terima kasih Bu Eka. I want to make sure opinion about this Pak Rana. Oh Budin, sorry. Budin. Aku juga ini. Mungkin ada ini kan di dalam sistem SINAF Pak Rana, jadi jika tidak dimungkinkan bagi seorang verifikator untuk mengetahui puskesmas dari untuk mengetahui paskes mana yang sudah diverifikasi. Tapi betul seperti yang disampaikan Bu Din tadi, jika terdapat hal-hal yang misalnya unclear, tidak jelas, nah itu memang agak sulit. Nah tadi Pak Rana sudah menyampaikan, saya mungkin sedikit ini ya, karena di sini juga ramai menjadi topik yang sedang dibicarakan.
Okay, good. No, that is okay. No problem. I have also seen that system. I have also seen that system where we do not want to disclose the identity of Puskesmas to the validators or reviewers so that they are not biased. This is also one way of impartiality, protecting the impartiality, not to disclose the name of the Puskesmas to the validators. That is fine. So in that case, the validator will give the reports that while reviewing this Puskesmas, which they don't know which one it is, and they want some these more information, so that they will put it in the system of SINAP, and then the concerned accreditation agency, which knows which Puskesmas they are talking about, reach out to that Puskesmas, get the information, and bring to the validator. So again, I'm saying this depends what is your process. What is your process? If you have that process, everything is okay. Not disclosing the identity of Puskesmas to validator is a perfect thing. Not a problem. It's a perfect thing. They don't know which Puskesmas they're talking about, so they can't have any bias. It's a very good system. But in that case, you can manage it. You can get the report, you can get the comments, and then pass on to the Puskesmas that yes, this is what we want more from you as required and a part of the process for accreditation. So they're absolutely fine. Secretaries should do that. Is that clarify your question, Ibrahimi?
Bu Rami, izin nambahkan.
Baik, terus terang Pak Rana terkait dengan hubungan antara verifikator dengan surveyor dan lain-lain memang tidak kami atur secara jelas, tergantung masing-masing lembaga bagaimana mengaplikasikan itu di lapangan, meskipun yang ada adalah kondisi yang tadi seperti tadi bahwa ada keterbatasan pada saat kita membuka SINAP. Tapi mungkin jadi saya berpikir mungkin setelah ada mungkin dari 1.000 atau 100 nih yang tidak jelas, ada misalnya 50% atau 25%, itu mungkin harus diangkat lagi ke level yang lebih tinggi sehingga kita bisa clear gitu loh. Saya nggak ngerti way out-nya seperti apa, mungkin bisa di-create oleh masing-masing lembaga untuk mengatasi unclearness. Jadi yang tidak jelas tanda itu harus seperti apa. Begitu ya Pak Rana?
Izin Bu Rami.
Ya.
Menambahkan. Ya, saya ingin menambahkan tuh apa yang dikeluhkan tadi termasuk Budin, yang bahwa memang kan SINAP itu mengunci, kita jadi blind method tidak tahu. Tapi kalau kita pelajarin dalam Juknis, dalam PMK 391 ya, 3991 kalau tidak salah, di situ tidak ada disebutkan sebetulnya bahwa harus blind method seperti itu. Dan juga sebagai informasi, rumah sakit kan juga tidak seperti itu. Kalau rumah sakit verifikator boleh mengadakan diskusi, tanya kenapa bahwa ini. Jadi memang lebih kami sebagai di lembaga lebih enaknya itu jangan blind method. Jadi sambil membimbing surveyor yang baru mungkin. Jadi kalau dibaca tuh di KMK 3991 tidak ada nampak itu harus blind method, harus bagian daripada mengatasi interest itu tidak kelihatan gitu. Cuma di SINAP-nya itu salah satu itu tidak tahu siapa. Yang kedua, seandainya surveyor menyebutkan itu 10 yang seharusnya itu TD, atau terbaliknya si surveyor buat TDD, kita menganggap itu dari peraturan itu tidak TDD, itu kita nggak bisa lagi, udah terkunci aja, kita tidak bisa ubah. Kalau TDD kita harus ikutin surveyor buat TDD gitu. Jadi mungkin perlu direview kembali. Dan juga melihat Juknis di KMK-nya Pak Bu Rahmi. Di KMK tidak, kalau memang harus oleh lembaga, tapi kan itu sistem di SINAP sudah terkunci seperti kata Bu Din, nggak bisa juga lembaga memutuskan gitu. Terima kasih Bu Rami.
Baik, terima kasih. Mungkin ini diskusi ya dengan Pak Rana dan dengan teman-teman Bapak Ibu sekalian. Tadi saya sudah sampaikan secara regulasi memang kami tidak menuliskan di sana baik Permenkes 34 maupun tentang Juknis survei, tidak kami menuliskan hubungan antara surveyor dan verifikasi dan lain sebagainya. Dan memang adanya di SINAP. Tadi Pak Rana menyatakan bahwa yang seperti itu baik, tapi yang harus kita carikan cara, jalan keluar untuk menghandle persoalan inilah yang harus kita bahas atau kita rundingkan. Kami tidak keberatan untuk ke suatu perbaikan, tapi kami memerlukan juga pertimbangan-pertimbangan untuk hal-hal tersebut. Tapi mungkin saya ingin mendapatkan opini Pak Rana tentang hal ini jika memang tadi sudah disampaikan.
Thank you, Bu.
I need your opinion.
I think
because we have.
I think again, I'm sorry, I'm saying again and again. Let's make a flow chart of the entire process. Okay. Please prepare a flowchart of the entire accreditation process, starting from a Puskesmas to agency to MOH to district health authority, or whosoever, whatsoever are involved. Please prepare the entire process. Okay. And then we'll see. And then I just said again, and then each stage of the accreditation process, write down who are involved. MOH only, MOH and Puskesmas, MOH and agency, agency only, Puskesmas only, all these things, right? And then each stage like application, review,
Oke, Mr. Rana,
survey, decision.
setelah sesi ini kita akan berdiskusi terkait SINAF, termasuk tadi hal-hal yang terkait hubungan antara surveyor dan verifikator. I hope it make it clear for all. Jadi,
I think that makes sense.
yes.
Otherwise, we'll keep talking the same thing again and again.
Yeah, yeah. After this session, there's one session information system. As we can discuss and what should we do to improve it. Ya, Mbak
Yes,
Nana.
please.
Oke,
Sure.
mungkin itu terkait dengan Oke, thank you. Ada lagi?
Thank you.
Oke.
I saw hands up.
There's one question. Kita nggak jelas. Iya, biar jelas.
Baik, masih muda ya. Baik, kalau saya masukannya untuk ini aja Bu Rahmi ya, tapi mungkin nanti komen dari Dr. Rana. Ini kan kita 8-10 terkait dengan evaluasi ya. Salah satu hal yang penting adalah fungsi dari atau peran dari verifikator atau validator ya istilahnya. Nah selama ini di SINAF ya masing-masing lembaga ya, artinya maaf bukan validator ya, verifikator di lembaga. Nah selama ini di SINAF itu ya ketika verifikator bekerja ya, itu ada kolom ya. Jadi katakan survei sudah memberi skor dan fakta analisis bahkan rekomendasi. Kemudian kolom berikutnya adalah tugas dari verifikator ya. Verifikator bisa memberikan scoring itu bisa tetap ya, bisa beda, bisa naik, bisa turun atau tetap ya. Nah, yang kemudian di kolom sebelahnya adalah catatan ya. Nah, catatan ini sayangnya ya ketika kami konfirmasi kepada IT di Kemkes itu sebetulnya itu kan evaluasi dari verifikator itu tidak terbaca, tidak bisa, catatan itu tidak terbaca oleh surveyor katakan begitu ya. Padahal ini kan bagus untuk masukan gitu ya. Itu yang saya ingin tanya, itu harusnya seperti apa sih ke depan gitu ya. Jadi kalau itu kan feedback ini feedback yang baik ya. Kemudian yang kedua akhirnya misalnya begini ya. Verifikator memberi angka berbeda scoring dengan surveyor ya. Katakan dari surveyor memberikan angka maksimal 10. Nah, verifikator melihat oh ini kalau lihat seperti ini 5 begitu ya. Tapi di fakta analisisnya yang keluar itu nanti adalah yang punya surveyor. Nah, jadi kan nggak connect nih. Hasil antara fakta analisis pasti tidak akan sempurna seperti yang dibuat oleh surveyor. Nah, kendala seperti ini bagaimana ya Bu Rahmi ke depan ya? Itu aja, makasih. Ya di DFO juga kelihatan loh rekomendasi dari surveyor. Jadi ngapain kita kerja, percuma deh.
Di DFO ada Bu, kan keluar di PPS itu. Makanya PPS itu berdasarkan rekomendasi surveyor.
I think
PPS gitu.
I think we should not
Mr. Rana.
we should not discuss because as Bu Rahmi
Kita
said,
diskusi Bapak
it's
Ibu
part
sekalian.
of the SYNAP system and better to look at SYNAP system and then see what can be done for improvement if required. what is required as per the ISCO accreditation standards, if that all covered or not. If not, what can be done at the MOH ministry level or a district level or a PUSCASMAS level or an accreditation agency level. So I think we should park the question till we have a look at the SYNAP system, because these questions will keep coming, you know. That's why I'm saying prepare a process, complete, detailed, 100-page process, each and everything listed out, starting from application to decision making, and who involved, what they do, and see if that meets the ISCO accreditation requirements, and if not, what need to be changed, modified, or amended to make it compliant. Thank you.
Baik, masih ada pertanyaan, tapi yang terkait dengan siklus timeline dan sebagainya mungkin akan kita pending dulu sampai session berikutnya. Ada pertanyaan lain karena ini sudah standar ISKWA sudah selesai disampaikan oleh Pak Rana sampai dengan standar 8. Jadi mungkin ada yang mau bertanya bab-bab sebelumnya atau apa, silakan Bapak Ibu. Sebelum kami close, nanti akan ketemu lagi sama Mr. Rana insya Allah tanggal 24 directly. Jadi oh iya, masuk besok ada satu lagi lupa. Udah ini udah lemes Bu. Oke, ada lagi pertanyaan Bapak Ibu yang ada di luring maupun daring, silakan, seru juga diskusi siang ini ya Pak. Oke, mungkin sudah tidak ada pertanyaan. Thank you for the great discussion, Pak Rana. Maybe we can continue this discussion after Pak Haidar present about the system of SYNAP. Terima kasih banyak untuk semuanya. Lanjut ke berikutnya, kita mau break dulu atau lanjut? Oke. Sesi berikutnya adalah akan terlebih dahulu sebelum kami masuk ke sistemnya SYNAP akan disampaikan oleh Pak Haidar. Pak Haidar itu ketua tim kerja informasi dan humas. Jadi beliau akan menyampaikan besarannya. Nah, kemudian kita akan masuk ke dalam SYNAP sehingga kita bisa lihat apa-apa saja mungkin harus diimprove dari SYNAP tersebut. Baik, saya persilahkan kepada Pak Haidar. Sudah adakah di sini? Dir? Silakan Pak.
Ya, Bu Rahmi. Ya. Oke, baik. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang, salam sejahtera bagi kita semuanya. Tentunya terima kasih Bu Rahmi atas kesempatan yang diberikan. Saya akan menyampaikan terkait dengan sistem informasi yang digunakan dalam hal akreditasi Pasyankes ya, terutama di FKTP dan Paskes lainnya yang saat ini sudah berjalan kurang lebih hampir setahun ya, dan tentunya perlu banyak hal yang kita kembangkan lebih lanjut terhadap kelengkapan dari SYNAP itu sendiri. Saya share screen ya. Oke, mungkin nanti mohon masukan dari Bapak Ibu semua terhadap SYNAP ini. Dari sorry. Saya ulangi lagi. Jadi memang SYNAP ini ya, jadi aplikasi yang digunakan dalam implementasi akreditasi di FKTP dan FKTL-nya ada dua aplikasi, yaitu satu itu adalah DPO, satu lagi yaitu SYNAP. DPO ini panjangannya data Pasyankes online. Ya. Ini data Pasyankes online ini memang digunakan bagi Pasyankes ya yang akan mendaftarkan untuk proses akreditasi. Ya, jadi aplikasinya untuk Pasyankes itu tersendiri. Ya, jadi usulan akreditasi sampai dengan kesiapan surveinya diajukan lewat aplikasi data Pasyankes online. Itu yang pertama. Kemudian yang kedua Bapak Ibu, ada juga aplikasi SYNAP. Nah, SYNAP ini memang digunakan di lembaga penyelenggara akreditasi. Jadi seluruh lembaga pengakreditasi itu harus mengakses SYNAP nih untuk melakukan proses-proses terhadap dari mulai menyetujui survei, membuatkan surat tugas, kemudian juga sampai juga nanti dia dari survei itu mengisikan laporan survei. Kemudian juga verifikasi laporannya, sampai juga nanti adalah rekomendasi status akreditasi dari ketua LPA-nya atau ketua lembaganya. Dan terakhir, Kementerian Kesehatan juga akan menerbitkan sertifikat secara elektronik. Jadi memang sistem ini kami setting paperless, ya, tidak lagi menggunakan media manual, kertas, ya, dalam hal pengajuannya, semuanya sudah by system, sehingga diharapkan prosesnya lebih terpantau, lebih lengkap, dan tentunya proses terhadap sertifikatnya pun juga sudah lebih cepat, ya, karena memang secara prosesnya menggunakan sistem yang menggunakan sertifikat elektronik. Jadi pasienkes nanti ketika sudah ditandatangani oleh pimpinan, namanya Pak Dirjen, itu tinggal mendownload sertifikat elektroniknya di aplikasi Depo. Jadi sistem ini sudah langsung terintegrasi satu sama lain, walaupun dua sistem berbeda. Ya. Nah, intinya memang sistem ini sudah kita lakukan proses optimal mungkin penyelesaiannya sesuai dengan kebutuhan dari sisi penyelenggara akreditasi di pasienkes, ya. Di situ. Jadi secara requirement usernya sudah kita lakukan proses assessment dalam hal pengembangannya. Kemudian kita juga sudah buatkan petunjuk teknis untuk implementasinya, sehingga siapapun itu baik pasienkes maupun LPA tinggal mengacu kepada pedoman sudah kami buatkan dalam hal petunjuk teknis yang sudah kami buatkan dari sisi dua aplikasi ini. Ya. Kemudian di sini Bapak Ibu sekalian, memang secara user pengkategoriannya kami cluster, ya. Jadi selagi di DFO, di pasienkes online, itu usernya adalah pasienkes, nama ini adalah puskesmas, klinik, labkes, UTD, TPD, TPNDG. Ya. Kemudian dinas provinsi Kapota, ya, dinas provinsi dan dinas Kapota juga mengakses data dari DFO. Ya. Sedangkan SINAP ini memang kami hanya peruntukan untuk lembaga penyelenggara akreditasi. Jadi SINAP itu hanya untuk lembaganya, tapi untuk pasienkes dan dinas kesehatan itu adanya di DFO. Jadi dinas kesehatan provinsi Kapota pun kami libatkan di sini dalam hal proses monitoring evaluasi pelaksanaan akreditasinya, sehingga sistem ini nanti datanya bersumber data yang sama gitu. Jadi apa yang diterima oleh kami di Kemenkes, maka diterima juga oleh dinas kesehatan provinsi Kapota untuk nanti melakukan monitoring progres penyelenggaraan akreditasi yang ada di wilayahnya masing-masing. Dan secara proses pun kami transparan, accountable di sini, bahwa pasienkes itu akan bisa memonitor setiap langkah-langkah atau progres dari sisi usulan akreditasinya. Jadi ada proses di sini kita buatkan di pasienkes bisa melihat itu. Sampai mana proses yang sudah dilakukan, ya, dari apakah sampai dengan pengajuan sampai dengan penerbitan sertifikat. Jadi kalau sudah hijau berarti sudah selesai nih semuanya. Tapi kalau nanti hijaunya sampai dengan salah satu berarti ya stepnya sampai situ. Ya, yang merah-merah itu berarti memang belum selesai. Jadi kita buat transparan mungkin, berharap nanti paskes-paskes nggak perlu lagi bertanya ke kami, tapi tinggal melihat prosesnya langsung di aplikasi DFO yang sudah kita integrasikan di sini, ya. Dan memang ya sekali lagi di SINAP ini kami lengkapi seluruh data-data yang terkait akreditasi, ya, dari mulai profil pasienkesnya, di sini ada nama sampai dengan alamat, ya, kita buatkan informasi di sini lengkap mungkin. Kemudian data SDM-nya yang bekerja di sana, data sarperasnya terkait dengan sarana, prasarana, dan alat kesehatan, kita juga lakukan pendataan. Kemudian berupa image, gambar dari pasienkes itu, ya, untuk profilnya, ya, kita mau dapatkan juga. Kemudian juga pelaporan, ya, pelaporan terkait dengan pelaporan yang terkait di sisi pasienkesnya sampai dengan sertifikat, dan juga terakhir adalah kebijakan di sisi rekam medis elektronik atau IMR, ya, yang tadi sudah diwajibkan untuk pasienkes untuk implementasi IMR. Dan untuk lembaga penyelenggara akreditasi, ya, mohon maaf, untuk pasienkes di sini ketika dia mengusulkan survei, dia akan mengusulkan survei di aplikasi DFO. Di situ dia akan memilih sendiri lembaganya, lembaga apa yang akan dia pilih. Kita tidak kunci di situ, silahkan nanti dia pilih. Kemudian dia pilih juga sesuai dengan domisili yang terdekat dengan dia. Kalau memang domisili di DKI Jakarta, maka pilihan pertama adalah di DKI Jakarta. Tapi ketika memang dia tidak tersedia, dia bisa mencari di surveyor di luar DKI Jakarta sesuai dengan yang waktu yang dia siap untuk disurvei. Jadi ini untuk waktu, metode, jenis segala macam Pasienkes sendiri yang menentukan. Dia tidak dari Kementerian Kesehatan. Jadi Paskes diberi kebebasan untuk memilih tanggal, lembaga sampai dengan metode dan lain-lainnya. Ya, situ. Kemudian Bapak Ibu semua, memang dalam hal ini ya menjadi tantangannya adalah ketersediaan surveyor ya tadi. Ya, ketika Paskes menentukan tanggal sekian tambah sekian untuk rencana surveinya, namun ternyata surveyornya tidak tersedia, ya karena mungkin keterbatasannya juga, maka ya memang dimungkinkan untuk dia memilih surveyor dari provinsi lainnya, ya, supaya memang bisa memenuhi dari sisi keinginan Pasienkes tadi. Jadi Pasienkes memang kita tidak kunci semuanya, mereka diberikan keleluasaan untuk memilih lembaga sampai dengan tanggal dan juga domisili ya yang memungkinkan mereka bisa memilih dari sisi surveyornya tadi. Ya. Kemudian setelah itu Pasienkes juga wajib untuk juga melengkapi persyaratan untuk akreditasi lainnya. Jadi dokumen-dokumen pendukung terhadap masalah terkait dengan penyelenggara akreditasinya, survei akreditasi, di sini mereka harus upload dari mulai surat permohonan, kemudian juga self assessment, sampai dengan data dukung berupa link Google Drive atau link lainnya yang bisa dibaca oleh si surveyor untuk implementasi terkait dengan proses survei. Ya. Seperti itu. Termasuk juga syarat-syarat lain seperti data-data yang harus dilengkapi dulu, yaitu data profil yang di depo tadi sampai dengan RNA-nya, kemudian aspek terkait dengan kelengkapan sarana-prasarana alkesnya, kemudian data tenaga, kemudian juga kepatuhan dalam mengisikan INM dan IKP. Nah ini saya tadi memang di Dinas Kesehatan Provinsi maupun di Paskes bisa langsung monitoring proses dari sisi akreditasinya. Ya, sampai sejauh mana Paskes itu dalam hal proses akreditasinya. Di situ akan kelihatan semua. Ya. Jadi kita buat setransparan mungkin. Ya, kalau hijau berarti sudah selesai, kalau kuning dia masih dalam proses, kalau merah berarti belum ke tahap proses tersebut. Ya. Kemudian di Sinat memang kami ada beberapa kategori user ya di sini. Ya, dari mulai admin lembaga ini yang saya bilang ini super user ya, yang bisa memfilter seluruh usulan dari Pasienkes ya. Kemudian juga surveyor tadi yang jumlahnya ribuan, kemudian verifikator lembaga, kemudian ketua lembaga sampai ketua tim kerja Kemenkes ya. Dan ini memang yang juga terlibat dalam proses verifikasi dari sisi hasil rekomendasi akreditasi. Nah, apa yang menjadi tugas surveyor? Ya, surveyor di sini tugasnya adalah sebagai melihat dari sisi kesiapan survei. Kemudian juga dia harus mendaftarkan kapan dia bisa melakukan surveinya tadi. Jadi tanggal-tanggal surveyor melakukan survei itu dia bisa pilih, bisa menentukan sendiri. Ya, karena surveyor sendiri kan ada juga yang memang bertugas di instansi lain. Dia harus mencari waktu yang sesuai dengan tugasnya dia di sini. Jadi dia mengisikan tanggal-tanggal kapan dia bisa survei. Ya, jadi kita nggak batasi di situ. Kemudian dia juga bisa melihat data-data yang sudah disampaikan oleh Pasienkes, baik itu data dukung tadi berupa self assessment sampai dengan data dukung lainnya, sampai juga nanti dia akan bisa membuatkan kesepakatan survei dengan Pasienkes ketika sudah ada komunikasi dua arah antara surveyor dengan Pasienkesnya terkait dengan kesiapan surveinya tadi. Kemudian dia juga wajib mengisikan elemen penilaian survei. Nah, elemen penilaian ini wajib 100% terisi. Tidak boleh tidak diisi. Satu item tidak terisi, maka hasilnya masih belum bisa diselesaikan oleh surveyor. Artinya belum bisa lanjut ke proses selanjutnya. Ya. Kemudian juga dia wajib juga melaporkan kegiatan surveinya, baik secara daring maupun juga secara offline dalam hal ini. Ya. Nah, ini yang ada di menu surveyor di Sinap, jadi surveyor bisa melakukan proses-proses ini ya secara lebih lengkap ya dengan alur ya. Kemudian Bapak ya nantinya bisa membaca seluruh data dukung dari mulai surat permohonan, self assessment, PPS sampai dengan surat usulan dinas kesehatan. Ini bisa dibaca semua datanya, termasuk bagaimana kelengkapan data pasien dalam hal kepatuhan mengisikan pelaporan yang wajib untuk menghapus akreditasi. Ini akan kelihatan semua di login surveyor ya. Dan tadi saya bilang untuk siapa survei dia bisa mengentrika sendiri kapan dia bisa tersedia tanggal-tanggal dia bisa survei. Kuning berarti dia belum tugaskan, hijau sudah tugaskan, merah berarti tidak bisa tugaskan ya karena ada kegiatan lain ataupun mungkin ada penugasan lain yang memang berhalangan untuk bisa ditugaskan pada tanggal tersebut. Ya, kemudian untuk pengisian elemen penilaian ya secara prosesnya ini harus 100% terisi ya. Jadi nggak boleh ada satu item yang nggak boleh diisi, nggak boleh tidak diisi. Jadi wajib semua terisi dengan baik lengkap. Karena kalau tidak terisi lengkap, maka nggak bisa difinalkan, nggak bisa diselesaikan. Kalau nggak bisa difinalkan, maka tidak bisa melanjut ke proses selanjutnya, yaitu verifikasi sampai dengan rekomendasi. Maka memang surveyor wajib mengisikan elemen penilaian ini secara lengkap, sesuai dengan hasil penilaian survei yang dilakukan secara daring maupun secara offline. Ya. Itu Bapak Ibu gambaran dari Sinap dari kami. Jadi panitianya kami setting ya aplikasi ini sedemikian rupa. Kita integrasikan sistemnya dengan sistem yang ada di Pasienkes. Kemudian kita pastikan seluruh lembaga dari mulai surveyor sampai dengan kedua LPA itu mengintegrasikan data di sistem ini sehingga nanti diharapkan sertifikat elektroniknya itu bisa keluar dari sistem setelah ditandatangani oleh Pak Dipin. Jadi semuanya sudah menggunakan media elektronik tanpa menggunakan lagi kertas atau media manual yang tentunya sudah kita coba tiadakan di aplikasi Sinap ini. Saya kira itu Bapak Ibu semua. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Terima kasih Pak Haidar. Pak Rana, can you get the idea about the Sinap? And I will You still need the flow? Oke, Pak Haidar, maaf mungkin saya juga akan menyampaikan ini ya, flow daripada survei flow secara besaran. Sebentar, saya share. Izin share ya Pak Haidar sebelum kita diskusi. Oke. Pak Rana, this is let me is to gimana gitu ya kasih aku. Sorry, still prepare. Okay, stop. Before maybe we still wait for the flow. Okay. Aku kok nggak kurang di sini ya. Pak Rana dan Bapak Ibu sekalian, ini adalah flow daripada Sinap meskipun ini simple flow karena memang ada beberapa hal yang belum ada di sini seperti PPS dan sebagainya. Yang pertama registration, ini